Hi, it's Elizabeth from Tyne Valley Motorhomes, and today we'll be doing the handover video of the Chausson 630. Just above your gas locker you'll find your external barbecue point, so you'll need an adapter and a length of hose to connect to your Cadillac and barbecue. And you want to just twist the handle and then turn your gas flow on. The first thing you'll come to behind your driver's door is your LPG gas locker. So this will hold one 6 kilogram gas bottle. When you are connecting your pigtail, remember it's left to tighten, right to loosen. And you'll need a spanner just to nip it up really tight. And then to turn the gas flow on and off, it's just this dial on the top here. Underneath the vehicle behind the back wheel, we've got your wastewater drain off point. So to empty the tank, you just want to pull the handle forward and any wastewater will come out of the pipe. You want to drain this water off when you're leaving a site, so you're not travelling home with the extra weight of wastewater. But also when you're winterising the vehicle, you don't want to leave any water in the tank to freeze and cause frost damage through the colder months. Next thing you come to is your cassette locker. So as long as the blade on the inside of the toilet is closed, you can pull the orange handle up and slide the cassette out. And then to empty it, you just want to unscrew the cap and then tip it up and always push in the orange button to allow some air in and stop it from clogging. And when you've emptied it, fill it up with some fresh water, give it a good swill around, empty it out again, and then put some blue or green liquid in your cap, and then your cassette is ready for use again. At the back of the vehicle, we've got your large garage space. We've got your tie-down rings, we've got a 12 volt and a 3-pin charger, and then there's also a sliding door so you can get access to the garage from inside and outside the vehicle. At the back of the vehicle at the top we've got your reversing camera, and then we've got your bike rack bars if you wanted a bike rack, adding it at a later date. And then we've got the garage from the other side. At the top there is the option to have 2 shelves, or you can take them out and you'll be able to fit taller items like skis in. Next we've got your locker with a couple of different things in. So first thing, we've got your freshwater filler point. So you want to unscrew the cap and then pop a hose pipe down the spout to fill up your freshwater tank. You'll need some adapters and the length of hose pipe, as some sites just provide a brass tap. So to empty your freshwater tank, whether you're winterising your vehicle or if you're just not using your van for a couple of weeks over the summer months, just drain your freshwater tank so the water doesn't go stagnant. All you have to do is pull this handle up, and the water will come out under the vehicle here. On the other side of the locker we have your trip switches and we have your fuses. So it's always a good idea to take some extra fuses with you on holiday. In case any of them blow, you can easily replace them and then you're not left without lights or your fridge working. And then if you are hooked up and you're not receiving power in the vehicle, you can press this button here. If it trips the vehicle, it means there's something within the vehicle that's gone wrong. However, if it doesn't trip, it means there's either an issue with your hookup cable or the mains coming into your vehicle. Next we've got your hookup point. So you want to lift the collar on the hookup cable and then just align it to the vehicle and then slide it on. When you're disconnecting, you want to just push this little blue lever down and then slide the cable off. Always remember to connect your cable to the vehicle first and then the mains, and then when disconnecting, disconnect from the mains and then the vehicle, so you're never walking around with a live lead. Next we have your Truma hot water gas vent. So when you're heating your hot water on gas, always remember to take the cover off. So you only put this on when you're travelling or when you're not using your vehicle and you're storing it. But when you are wanting to heat your water on the gas, take your cap off, and then this will just allow the fumes to escape. If you don't take the cap off, the boiler will fail. It won't be broken, it just means that because the fumes can't escape, it won't continue to heat the water off gas. So you need to take the cap off, give it a couple of minutes, and then turn it back onto the gas heating and it will work again. Next we've got your external shower point. So as long as you've got water in your freshwater tank and your water pump turned on the inside of the vehicle and you've connected your shower, you'll be able to use your external shower point. Next we've got your diesel and AdBlue. So you don't need your ignition key to open the cap, as it's just a push cap on your diesel filler. And then when you're filling up your AdBlue, if you go to a petrol station where they take Arctic lorries, you'll be able to get AdBlue on the pump, but you can also buy it in drums as well. To open the bonnet, you'll need your ignition key, and then you just pop it in the front here, turn it left to release, and then turn it right, and then lift the bonnet up to access underneath. And under the bonnet, the main things you want to focus on is your screen washer fluid, got your brake fluid, your oil, your dipstick, and we've got your engine coolant on the other side, and then we've got your positive here, and negative down here if you need to give or receive a jump start. To use your control panel, you want to make sure you've got your on button turned on. This acts as a main control switch. Nothing else will work inside the vehicle if you don't have this turned on. The next one along is your internal light, so you can then click that, and then you can turn lights on and off throughout the vehicle. From there, rocker switches. The next one along is your water pump, and then you've got your awning light on the end. On the lower half, you can check your leisure battery, you can check your vehicle battery, and then your fresh. And if you want, on a night time, you can dim the control panel down, so it's not as bright when you're sleeping in the bed. You can turn it up and down just by holding the button on.
This is your Webasto diesel heater. You need to make sure that you've got a quarter of a tank of diesel or more in the main engine tank, as this is where it gets its feed of diesel from. And you've got 30 degrees max heat this side. So adjust it, always start it on full. It does take such a draw of power when it first starts up, so if you get a light flickering, don't panic. It's just because a diesel heater does take such a draw off the leisure battery at first to get it fired up, and then once it starts running, it'll settle down. But you've got 30 degrees this side. Set it away on full, gets a combustion going quicker, and then adjust it to suit your temperature needs.
To turn your fridge on and off, you just want to hold the on button down so your lights appear, and then from here, if you hold the first square down, you can click between your energy sources. So you can either have on automatic, which means it will pick the best energy source possible, or you can manually pick hookup, vehicle, or gas. And we've also got your temperature. So 1 is the warmest, 5 is the coldest. And then when you're storing your vehicle for winter, just pull out this little tab here. And then when you close it, it won't fully shut. So you get airflow between your fridge and the outside, so it doesn't grow mold or any funky smells while you're storing it through the winter. You might not be able to see the steam, but the water is hot and up to temperature. When operating your drop-down beds, you want to make sure you've got your lights on, and then push one of the buttons to bring one side of the bed down. And then when you've got the bed at the height that you want, then push the other button to bring the other bed down. And then when you're finished, press the up button and the beds will go back to the roof. When storing the beds in winter, it's a good idea to leave a little bit of room between the mattress and the roof, just so they don't get any damp or any mold or anything in between the mattress and the roof. So leave a couple of inches just to let the air flow. When you want to raise and drop the table, again, press the button here. The table will go up and down. To make the dining area into the bed, first thing you want to do is just bring your base cushions up just so you can get the table in the down position, like that. And then you can bring the table down fully by pressing the button just next to the bed. once it's all the way down, you can then bring the base out and then fold the table over. And then you want to bring your seat cushions down and into the middle, and then you can then put your backrest in the gaps that are left. And again, do it on the other side. And there you've got your front bed all made up. When you want to make your front dining area into your travelling seats, first thing you want to do is just remove all 4 cushions. And then what you want to do is twist this black handle backwards and at the same time lift the back of the chair up. Next, what you want to do is put your larger base cushion onto the chair, and then put your larger backrest onto the back as well. Tuck it in, and there you've got your travelling seat ready to put it back. You just take the cushions off, fold the chair back down, and then put the cushions back in their original position. Behind the passenger seat, underneath the bench, we've got your boiler drain down. So when you are winterising your vehicle, you don't want to leave any water in the boiler to freeze and cause frost damage. So you want to lift this little yellow toggle up. This will drop all the water out of the boiler. When you come to use the boiler again in the summertime, push the lever down, and then you can fill up your freshwater tank. Turn your water pump on and it'll fill your boiler up. So when using your radio, you can have normal radio, or you can have DAB. And then you can scroll through a couple of different radio stations. You can also connect your phone through Bluetooth. You can also connect your phone through Bluetooth. And then you've also got Android links, and then you've got your reversing camera here as well. And then you also have your navigation. And then below you've got your air controls, so you've got your fan speed, you've got your temperature here, and you've got a few other different settings, and then you've got your hazards, you've got your 12 volt, a USB, and then you've got your automatic gear stick here. And then on your steering wheel you've got your indicators and your full beam on the left, and then you've got your wiper settings on the right. You've got your cruise control on the left here, and then on the right you can flick through different settings on your dash.